And this one is number 23 on module 7 homework. Let's see. Oh, so we're constructing a confidence interval. And it looks like the samples are dependent. What's going on here? So we have 13 patients, right? And it looks like we're testing a new drug. So these people sleep without drug. And I think this is, well, is that how much they sleep per night? That's so small. All right, I better read this. So construct a 90% confidence interval using the inequality. So, I mean, that's the formula you can use. Yeah, you can definitely use that. But I'm gonna be just sending the data to StatCrunch and do the whole thing over here. Okay, and I think you can do the same thing on TI-84 if you can type those numbers in. You can use this formula. You can find the critical t-value, you can find the differences in mean, but if you are doing this on your homework or your quiz, we can easily do the whole confidence interval using StatCrunch, okay? All right, let's see. To test the effectiveness of a new drug that is reported to increase the number of hours of sleep patients get during the night. So these are the people who are sleep deprived, right? They can't really sleep. So we're gonna give them some drug and see if they can sleep longer, okay? So what we did was we recorded how many hours they sleep without drug. So 3.6, 3.6, 3.6, da 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 da. And then we gave these people, these 13 people, some sleeping drug and measure their sleep again. So what's going on here is that we are taking two measurements from the same person. Patient number 1 got measured twice. Patient number 13 got measured twice. And we are comparing the differences between the before and after measure. This is called dependent sampling, right? This is covered in section 8.1 in the very beginning. If you read a little bit about dependent and independent sampling, and we need to know these things because depends on the type of sample that's being used, we're gonna do a different test, okay? Now, for dependent sampling, we're going to open up stat, and now I have to be very careful. Did they give us population standard deviation? And that is a very big question that you always have to ask yourself. If they gave you population standard deviation, you will go with z-stat. If they didn't give you population standard deviation, you will have to go with t-stat. And I don't see no little lowercase sigma given anywhere, so I'm going to go with t-stat this time. Go with two sample. Actually, I'm sorry. Instead, we got something better. Take a look. You use two sample when the samples are independent, okay? Samples are dependent. In that case, we're going to do a paired test. Now, why is it called pair? Well, you see how the before and after measure is paired for patient number 1, paired for patient number 2, right? So you're going to go with pair test if you are working with dependent samples, okay? And dependent sample means we take two measurements from the same patient or from the same subject. So click on paired. And we have sleep without drug as our sample number 1, and sleep using the drug as sample number 2. Now we're constructing a confidence interval. Scroll down a little bit. We just are going to change that to 0.90 for the level of confidence they want. And then all I have to do is click compute. And that's how you can find the confidence interval. It's easy, but we should be able to know how to interpret this, okay? The lower bound is negative 2.06, and the upper bound is, now how do they want us to round it? We have to be careful here. Type an integer or a decimal, round to 2 decimal places. Also that this one is fine. The next one is negative 1.37, okay? Now let's talk about what this means. I mean, the question should have asked us a little more to this, but is this, what we just got, is that a good news for this drug company? Like, is their drug working or not working, okay? And now here's the thing. If you take a look at this confidence interval, this doesn't contain 0. This is completely below 0, right? If you watch the previous video that I went over, that I recorded for, I can't remember which number it was, but in that video I talked about how if you do a small number minus a big number, okay, if you have a small number but you take away a big number, Like for example, 7 minus 10, you get negative. If the confidence interval is completely negative, okay, the mean from the population 1 is less than the mean from the population 2. So what are we saying here? Okay, we're saying that sleep without the drug is less than sleep using the drug. Okay, this is significant because this confidence interval being completely below 0 tells us that if you use this drug, you will increase the hours of sleep that you'll get. Okay, so that's the good news for this drug company, right? But I wish they asked us that part. But if you are just simply calculating the confidence interval, you can use this tool on your homework and your quiz. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to connect my TI-84 once I find it, so that I can show you that you can do the same thing using TI-84. Or you can definitely try to use this formula, find the average of their differences, find the critical value t, divide the sample standard deviation by the square root of the same. You can do that. You can definitely use this formula, but since you guys are working on your homework and on your quiz this week, I just wanted to show you that you can easily find these using statistical softwares, okay? So that was it for number 23 on Module 7 homework.